Hi friends, JB Legal and Regulatory Aspects. In this, we are going to discuss about banks regulation, which is a quite normal topic for us in legal and regulatory aspects. You will come across this topic over again and again. So I will explain it in a little regular manner. That means briefly, and each and every topic will be discussed in detail in other parts of this curriculum. So, first of all, as we already discussed, RBI regulates banks based on Banking Regulation Act and RBI Act. All the directions of RBI are statutory, that means they are binding. And BR Act Section 21 gives RBI powers over advances. BR Act Section 35 gives wide range of powers for all activities of banks. First of all, deposits are regulated on time basis. So RBI can stipulate time basis, minimum period of deposit, maximum period of deposit, so on, and can hold on withdrawals also based on the condition of particular bank. We come across such situations recently, so there might be limits on maximum withdrawals also from the savings accounts itself. And section 21 mentions about unclaimed deposits annually after the completion of calendar year, that means of December 31st within 30 days, that means by 30th of January your bank have to report to RBI about unclaimed deposits. And section 45 is about discharge by nomination. So banks can discharge their responsibility by means of nomination. So it is just to avoid all legal issues. Whoever the nominee, we can discharge our responsibility to him without any problem. So discharge by nomination, it is even applicable to safe custody and lockers also. Then comes loans and advances. In case of loans and advances, RBI guides and directs basing on many criteria. Some of those criteria are purpose, margin, maximum amount. So they can restrict to loans to particular purpose. They can guide the loans to particular purpose, like agriculture sector, priority sector, this. Then margin requirements. They can change the margin requirements, minimum margin requirements, etc. And for some education loans, there is no need of margin requirements. And maximum amount of loan we can give. Such criteria RBI can direct, and RBI can direct about interest rates. The floor, that means the lowest rate need to be, minimum rate need to be charged is controlled by using base rate. So below that they can't lend banks. There is an exception for us, that means bank employees can get loan below that rate. And ceiling, that means the maximum interest rate is guided by Usurious Act 1918. That means whatever may be the financial institution or individual can't rob another person in the name of interest rate. Even in case of credit cards, court observed that charging high interest rates is against Usurious Act, because credit cards charge at around 36%, which is not at all fair. Then it can also impose conditions and restrictions. For example, banks can't lend to their directors who are part of management to chairman. They can lend only on approval of RBI. So that will minimize the chance of fraud. And selective credit controls also used. In this, there are two principles. One is promotion, another one is punishment, penalty. Under promotion, they provide incentives to some sectors. For example, interest rate for agriculture sector is very low. It is an incentive. They penalize other sectors. It is not directly penalizing. The interest rate is high. That itself is penalizing. Such as trading, hoarding. So trading is not so penalized, but hoarding. Hoarding means they held the goods in their custody so that the prices rise in the open market. Up to that point, they held the goods just to manipulate the prices. So such activities are discriminated by using these practices. And section 20 says can't loan its on its own securities. That means bank can't give loan on its own securities. So it will have multiplying effect at the time of failure. So that's why banks this section 20 won't allow banks to loan on its own securities. And PSS Act 2007 based on this payments and settlements are governed. Just remember PSS Act 2007. Then section 45 based under this money markets are regulated, and banking ombudsman and DRT all you know, and separate videos are there on banking ombudsman and DRT. Banking ombudsman is for the purpose of customers, and DRT is for the benefit of organization, that is bank, and ultimately for the benefit of customers because their interests are protected. Then section 17 is about reserve fund. All the banks need to deposit 20% of that year's profit, actual profit, not estimated profit or future profit. 20% of actual profit need to be deposited in reserve fund. Reserve fund will be held with that particular bank only. There is no problem. Exception can be given by Government of India on recommendation by Reserve Bank of India. Exceptions can be given when the bank is financially very stable as well as they have good paid up capital. Then RBI recommends to Government of India, and Government of India can give, can give exception. And appropriation, that means any adjustments of funds from reserve fund need to be reported to RBI. And particularly in case of foreign banks, they have to keep this reserve fund with Reserve Bank of India. Foreign banks have to keep this reserve fund with Reserve Bank of India. They can't keep it in their own pockets. Then comes cash reserve and liquid assets. These are based on demand, time, liabilities. So whatever the cash reserves we come across in the RBI website or while we are preparing for bank exams, all these reserves are percentage of DTL. So this DTL data have to be reported to RBI on alternative Fridays. If we fail to follow any of these reserves, first fortnight penalty is bank rate plus 3%. From second fortnight, bank rate plus 5%. If it continued persistently later on, then there will be additional fine to directors and whoever responsible in the management team. And one more thing, all the banks should have assets in India at least 75%. So the report for this they need to furnish in quarterly basis. These assets can be gold, cash, unencumbered, approved securities. So that the money circulates within India, particularly in case of foreign banks, it is very useful. By this, the regulation of banks briefly completed. We will come across all these topics again and again, so don't worry about anything. Just remember the first mentioned sections, section 21 regarding the advances, section 35 wide range of powers, section 45 discharge by nomination. That is good enough. Thank you.